Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to look at the high performing annuals that are just knocking it out of the ballpark here the last weekend of July. That is crazy to say, but here we are. Summer is rapidly coming to a close and it's hot. It is humid, especially here in our North Carolina, a Zone 8A garden. And so we have a couple of different scenarios going on around here. One, we are North Carolina. It's hot, it's humid. If you're in any kind of area like we are, you know that the humidity can be quite oppressive. So you have that going on. It is the end of July. These annuals have been in the ground for months now and been performing quite steadily the whole entire time. Jerry and I have been doing some traveling for the business the past couple of weeks, so we have not been giving the gardens the attention that they really should be had, and so there's been some neglect and just kind of like, listen, you're on your own, kid, you got it. And so we had that happening, and then here in the last, 2 weeks, I would say, we've had a lot of rain. We went through like 6 weeks of absolutely no rain. We do have some irrigation going on, but no rain, and then we got tons of rain. So it's like feast or famine around here, but these annuals are handling it like champions. So we're gonna bop around the garden so I can highlight these plants for you. If you have a long growing season like we do, maybe you want to go ahead and add them, into your garden now, and they will continue to perform all the way up to a freeze. If not, make a note, y'all. Put this in your gardening journal or your garden notes so that when you're shopping in the spring, you will know what to add to your garden if you need just some high performers that are low maintenance. We are going to be here in the garden having a great time. Brenna is quite happy that I am out here with her. So we are with the garden here behind the garden shed. You were with me when we planted it and you have seen this grow. So what we're going to do, because there are some plants that are on the struggle bus, but we're going to focus on the ones that are doing great. So I think the ones that you see right away are going to be that climbing sweet potato vine, right? So this is the upside key lime. There are 3 plants, y'all. 3 plants that are just absolutely taking over this wall, which is exactly what I wanted it to do, giving me some nice coverage, because this wall is, right here on the other side is where I, keep like the hoses in there. Sometimes I would keep some supplies right there, but my gosh, y'all, look how well the sweet potato vine is doing. And you can see even here on the back side that it is continuing to come through. Gives me nice coverage. So sweet potato vine definitely can handle the heat and humidity like a champion. The vertigo grasses, graceful grass, vertigo grass. So we have 3 in here as well. So there's 1, 2, and then you can see the top of the 3rd one back here. Y'all, look at this. This is 1 plant. It is just getting going. It loves the heat. It thrives in the heat, and it will just continue to grow and grow, getting massive. Sun-credible sunflowers. We're gonna see these also in the berm. Y'all, there was a walking path, which I knew this was gonna happen when I planted it, but there was supposed to be a walking path right here. I knew the sunflowers would come over, and that's perfectly fine. I don't mind a bit. So this is that reblooming sunflower. Yes, I absolutely could come in here and do some deadheading. Again, I don't have time, y'all. Sometimes you just don't have time, and nor do you have the energy or the desire. Let's just be honest, right? So the pollinators are going nuts. I don't know if you can see all the different sizes and different types of pollinators that are in here. We've got butterflies, we've got bumblebees, we've got honeybees, we've got all sorts of sweet little guys that are just having the best time on these sunflowers. Great pollinator attractor, as is salvias. Perennial salvias, some of my all-time favorites because they just are rock stars. This is the Rockin' Deep Purple, and we have a whole little swatch of them through here, and they are doing great. Again, when I planted them, they were tall and leggy. I came through, I did pinch them, I think just that one time, and they're handling it like champions. They're doing great. Deer resistant, rabbit resistant, don't have any bunny problems on these guys, doing really nicely, and I could not be happier with how they're doing. My super petunias, let's just be honest, they're on the struggle bus, y'all. So yeah, with all the rain, they probably need a good dose of fertilizer. All that food has been gone out of the ground and they could definitely use a shot of food. But when you have other fun interest in this garden, it is okay. I can handle it, not a problem. All right, let's move on to another one. Next on the list, Angelonias and begonias. My gosh, y'all. I know there was a reason I picked so many Angelonias this year to go in the gardens. Oh my gosh, they are doing great. Now keep in mind that all of the Angelonias have been pruned back, and look at them. They are just starting to get nice and thick and tall and those gorgeous flowers. Of course, this is the Angelonia. This is the angel face, perfectly pink. I have that in mass here in the beds behind the patio. Just doing great. As soon as the sun comes out and we get some consistent days of some sunshine, then the flowers are really going to pop. We have got buds all over the place. So they are doing really well. Remember, even down here, I just pruned those back probably maybe 10 days ago. So they are starting to flush back out. But your Angelonias love the heat. They love the humidity. Not necessarily drought tolerant, so you're gonna kind of have to watch your water on that, but they are doing great, as is, look, this is the new one for next year, the Angel Face White. Also trimmed these back really kind of severe the same time I did those perfectly pinks, but the whites are coming back out. There's lots of buds, y'all. The reason that they're not blooming really strong right now is because of the lack of sun. We've not had good consistent sunny days in probably 10 to 12 days. And so once we get that good consistent sun, they will completely flush back out and just do great. So your Angelonias, Proven Winners has tons of different colors, different, you know, however you want to do it. You want to do small ones, you want to do huge ones, they have them all. So if you're looking for heat tolerant, they love the humidity, can handle like champions, Angelonias, do them. They do really well. As do, as I was saying, begonias, right? So here I paired, this is the Double Up White. So we have Double Up White kind of at the base of all of the perfectly pinks that continue to go all the way around. And then I even stuck 3 of them right here. Remember, if you're an avid watcher, viewer, supporter of Gardening with Creekside, you may remember that in the spring, the plan was to have the Evolvulus, the Blew My Minds here. And so I had planted them initially with this bed first, right? And we have a bunny problem this year. We have got rabbits galore. And while we've had in the past a rabbit here or there, you know, nothing too big, well, we've got families. We probably have multiple families here. And they really enjoyed that Blew My Mind Evolvulus. I mean, ate it to the ground, nubs. So I did a quick research, okay, annuals that are rabbit resistant. Wax begonias came up. Wax begonias were pretty high on the list, and I am happy to report that they have not touched them at all. I tried the cayenne pepper, I tried some sprinkling some stuff, and let's just be honest, Jenny, I just can't get it together to keep up with a nice strong regimen of doing that kind of stuff, and it didn't even help, honestly. So just finding that rabbit resistant plant worked really well. So the Double Up Whites are just, they're so fun because they're just that perfect little mound of a plant, right? The flowers are small, but there's so many of them, it doesn't really matter because they're petite, nice big clusters, and there's all over the plant. So the Double Up Begonias doing great. Speaking of Double Up Begonias, we've got Double Up Pink right on the other side of the house, along with some Angel Wing Begonias. Let's go look at those. There you go, my friends. Here are the Double Up Pink Begonias. You were with me when I planted them in the spring. Look how well they are doing. Let me back up just a little bit so you can get the full effect here. I have them, we have, you know, our air conditioning units, our HVAC systems right here. And I've learned I need to keep things that are low because our fellas come twice a year to service them, maintenance them. And oh my gosh, y'all, look at this lamb's ear. It is thriving. Now, no, it's not an annual, it is a perennial, but the lamb's ear is doing great. I love it with the companion planting of the Double Up Begonias, right? So the Double Up Begonias doing great, beautiful pink, covered in mass, and this is not on irrigation. I think I watered it really well in, you know, of course, when I planted it, and then I just left it. And I only lost one plant, and really I don't even know why, what in the world happened to this poor little thing. She's trying to come back, but right there you go. There's one that was really sad in there, but y'all, look how pretty. And it makes such, which I knew that it would, you know, the begonias take a little bit of time to get going, but just because they like that consistent heat, the humidity, they're rabbit resistant. Oh my gosh, planting them in mass, so happy I did this, and incredibly low feeders. Like, I have not done water soluble fertilizer on these guys at all. I like to share with you those plants and kind of really tell you exactly, like when we have annuals, especially because annuals, their job is to give you massive color for a very short amount of time, right? A couple of months in a season. And so I like to be very open and honest with you about the maintenance that goes into those annuals, because some annuals can be quite higher maintenance. Petunias, calibricoas, I love them. They're gorgeous. I planted them in mass. But right now, some of them are looking terrible because I did not maintain them with the water-soluble fertilizer and so forth and so on. So they're looking rough. I want to show you these annuals when I say that I have not done any kind of water-soluble fertilizer. I promise, I'm not lying to you, I have not. They had the slow release in there, I used biotone in there, so using those extra steps up front to give you a nice preparation, a nice bed, growing environment for these annuals really does pay off in the long run. I don't have time to come out here. I mean, I've got so many plants, I don't have time to come out and do water-soluble fertilizer every third watering, fourth watering. Heck, I can't even do it every 2 weeks. What you talking about? So I need those plants that are high performers but are low maintenance. And in the summertime and in the end of July going into August, if I can have annuals looking like this, yes, please, thank you, and twice on Sunday, very much so. Now, different kind of begonia, but oh my gosh, just as equally as gorgeous. The hanging baskets, and hopefully, let's see if the camera will pick up on this very well, hopefully because of the sun conditions here. So we have 4 of these hanging baskets. These baskets came from Kinsman Garden Company. This is my 2nd year growing in them. Now these are on drip irrigation. There is a line, let me show you right back here. So these are on irrigation. They get watered once every day, and I don't know if the camera, I can't tell how it's going to pick up on this, but there's a line that comes down, and then we have the little brown irrigation tubing in there. There's like 2 circles of it because the emitters I think are like every 6 inches, 8 inches, and there you go. Now these are the angel wing, dragon wing, whatever you want to call them, reds. I did plant, those of you again that watch us consistently will know that I did have some diamond frost in there this year. Diamond frost, I don't know. The begonias took over before the diamond frost could get started. So all you see is the diamond frost. Do I care? I mean, not the diamond frost. All you see are the begonias. Am I upset about that? Nope, not in the least bit. So they are doing great. Love those. And then here you go. Once again, remember we put the double up whites here in the containers by the steps. Jerry wanted those in there. I said, yes, sir. So we put those in there. The boxwoods are growing a little too aggressively, especially on this one. The planters are spaced the exact same because I was very meticulous and watched my bricks and made sure that they were spaced out right. This one's growing into each other just a little bit. I don't care. It's fine, y'all. There's more things in life to be worried about than the boxwood growing into the container a little bit. But there you go. I would have to water this. These are not per se on irrigation. When it rains, they get watered. There was a couple of times there, and obviously when it got really hot in June and we had no rain, that I would come through and water it. I just filled up like a gallon watering can and watered them maybe once a week. And this is one plant. There's one plant in there because I knew that they would get nice and big. All right, now, speaking of that, the diamond frost did not do well here. It is doing exceptionally well in another spot, so let me show you that. Here in front of this is our window where our kitchen table is, and I have this nice big hay rack, again from Kinsman Garden Company. Love their containers. And in here we kept it really simple. We did the Rocapuco. This is the purple with the Diamond Frost. And y'all, the Diamond Frost took it a minute to get going, but when it did, oh my goodness. And then look at those double impatiens. This is definitely going to be more of a shady area, right? They are doing spectacular. I did jam pack them in here, but yeah, I could not be happier with how this container is doing, nice and full. I do have it behind my zebra hydrangea, so they're kind of, depending on where you go, you can see them peeking up and doing quite nicely. Also here in the next container, there's not any of the Diamond Frost. I try to remember if I even planted Diamond Frost, but we had the coleus that I've just pruned along with more of the Rocapucos right there. But in general, the Euphorbia does really well. So whether it's Diamond Frost, Diamond Snow, Diamond Mountain. I had some fun this year. I was like, let's try this. So I put Diamond Mountain. Diamond Mountain's going to be the biggest one, hence its name. And so I had a little empty space right here, and I was like, let's put it in here. So it has filled in. It has fallen over once or twice with the summer storms, but it is growing quite nicely, continuing to grow more and more. Very light, airy look. And then I even put it behind the white wedding hydrangea. So to fill in, I had a little bit of an empty space between the hydrangea and the porch, doing really, really nice right there. So Euphorbias, whether you want to do your Diamond Snow, your Diamond Frost, or your Diamond Mountain, they are doing well as well. Great. Handling the heat and humidity. Speaking of handling heat and humidity, let's look at another one. Caladiums. Yes, my friend, caladiums are like the quintessential annual for the heat and the humidity. They love it. They thrive. They are just absolute rock stars. Looking right here. I had a shade begonia in this container. It was not doing well at all. Pulled it out, put one, I believe this was in an 8-inch container, and it is doing quite nicely. Now you'll notice sometimes that your caladiums, right, they just wear out, they get sad, they get tired. Not a problem. Just come through with your clippers and just take that off. Not a big deal, but look at that. Doing great, along with the Dichondra Silver Falls, another annual thriving in this heat and humidity. If you're around me for any hot second in the summer months, you're going to hear me raving about caladiums. Here is yet another one in a unique stone container here at the porch. At the garage rather. I have one on each side of the garage. Y'all, rock stars, just give them a little water every once in a while and they will perform their heads off. Also have them here in the forest pansy bed. I have them both in the landscape and in containers. This is Vava Violet along with a euchera, and then more of the double impatiens. Look, just phenomenal. And then look at this double impatient. That's the apple blossom back there. Look, rock star. That thing is huge. It's massive. And then we have some, ignore the weeds, y'all. The weeds are prolific as well right now. We have more caladiums, put them straight in the landscape and just doing really well. So it doesn't matter if you want to do caladiums in the full sun, they can handle it. Full shade, they can handle it. You need them in a container, got it. Landscape, got it. Hanging basket, got it. It does not matter. These are the most versatile annuals that I adore. Do they have flowers? No. I mean, they'll do some, randomly they'll do one. You don't get them for the for the flowers. You get them for the foliage. You get them for that gorgeous, like this is that violet one. Y'all, like, look how gorgeous this thing is, right? It is stunning. Now this one tends to be more on the shade side. When you're looking at your tags for your caladiums, especially the heart-to-heart ones from Proven Winners, they will most definitely tell you whether it's going to be sun or shade. Most of them can do both. This one is predominantly more shade, and it is loving life right now. So if you are in a hot, sticky, humid environment, you want to do caladiums. We're going to do some videos focusing on caladiums, how to grow them successful. Just know the hotter, the more humid it is, the more they love you. So that's it in a nutshell. All right, now we're gonna head up to the privacy berm because there's a couple more things that I wanna show you up there. Lantana. I'm sorry, but it is hard to beat some good old lantana late in the summer in the south in those hot areas. Lantana, one of my all-time favorite annuals to take me from summer into fall, and is absolutely glorious. Here we're right here on the edge of, there's the house obviously. Here we have a mass planting. This is Citron. Citron she is showing off. She did stop blooming just for a hot second when the rain stopped, because this is not on irrigation. But she is a nice soft yellow, doing nice coverage. I think you can see maybe there's some butterflies over here that are just living their best life, going to all of these flowers. Again, as I've said many times already in this video, once we get some consistent days of some sun, this will pop out even more. But Citron is nice because it's not so huge, right? As far as like the height on it, it tends to be on the lower side. I have not pinched this at all. I have not water soluble fertilized this at all. It kind of gives you that idea, nice low habit on it. Sometimes lantanas can be a little aggressive as far as their height. Citron is doing really well. And then, like I said, y'all, we have got butterflies galore here on this Citron lantana. Now, let's move over here to the privacy berm, and Jenny is dodging fire ant mounds. If you're in the South, unfortunately, you probably know about fire ant mounds. Before I started the video though, I was doing some weeding and I saw the mound, but then I started weeding and I just missed it and I stepped in it, and next thing you know, you feel your ankle is on absolute fire, and I looked down and I was covered. So on my ankle, she hurts. If you don't have fire ants, God bless you. But now is the time of the year where they're really starting to come up and be active. And man, those suckers, they are just mean. They are just evil little creatures. All right, are y'all ready? Here we go. I've waited all summer for this bed to develop, and we're slowly getting there. Here we go, my friends. This is the house side of course, the privacy berm. So we're gonna start at the top and just kind of work our way down. We have in here lantana. So this is the red zone. Again, lots of pollinators here, y'all. Beautiful pollinators. We have the red zone that is that red and that orange. The lantana took forever to start blooming, and I'm honestly not sure why. That's not typical of that. I don't know if it's because we just stopped getting rain, and this is not per se on irrigation. They have started blooming, and I am very happy about it. So you have got the luscious lantana. This is the citron, the red zone, right? Then more salvias. Here we have Play in the Blues. Love this, that nice silvery blue foliage, just doing great. The coleus, of course we love coleus. The Newly Noir. More of the Suncredible sunflowers. Did those in mass right through here and just doing quite lovely. When I planted this, you were with me, and we planted them in groups of 3s, 5s, and 7s, because you see this flower bed from a distance, and I wanted to have a big pop, right? It's not popped as much as I have anticipated or wanted to from a distance, but up close it is gorgeous. So we have more of the red zone, and then here we have lemon tart or lemon zest. Y'all, I never can get that one right, forgive me. But it's the lemon one, and the difference between the lemon and the citron is the shade of yellow. This is a more intense, very bright, big bird yellow, right? So very intense. And then the height, it is going to be a larger plant. So kind of to give you an idea, you were with me like with the citron, and you can see that this is going to be a bigger size, right? So lantana, absolute rock star performer, and we did put them in groups. You can kind of see those clumps, because I wanted to have, instead of complete coverage like we did last year with the petunias, I wanted to have more of clumps, and the clumps are starting to grow together, but you can still kind of see where those plantings were in there. We did the lemon by itself here in the center with the Artist Blue ageratum. The Artist Blue has been holding on really well. She's looking, this is probably the roughest that she has looked so far, but she's hanging in there and doing well. And then we just repeat, right? So we still have the coleus, the red zone, the suncredibles, the salvias right here. And yeah, so everything is doing quite nicely right here. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you have gotten some ideas of annuals that are performing throughout the heat, the humidity, the rough growing conditions, because when I say that these have not been babied, I mean that. They have not been babied at all. And so they are just, they're performing their heads off. And honestly, that's the kind of plant I need right now because Jenny's starting to get tired. It's been a long season. We still got a long way to go, but in my brain, like if the annuals are not performing well, then I'm ready to yank them out. So that's just the mentality that I'm at. I have some petunias in the back that are not performing. They just did not transition well through all the changes that we've had and some of the neglect. So I'm like, you're getting evicted. You're out of here. We're gonna put some other fun annuals in there that will perform this time of year. So even though it is hot, it is sticky, we're going into August. The gardening still continues. There's so much to do. Being out of the garden for basically 2.5 weeks, I come back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this, and this. And then I'm like, just slow down, enjoy it. It is a journey. We enjoy the journey, not necessarily the destination, right? And all of our gardens are constantly changing and evolving. And as we spend time in them, or we can't spend time in them, the seasons of life, such it is. But your gardens are tough and they will rebound. And if they die, it's a plant, y'all. It is okay. All right, my friends. Hope you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, my friends.